okay, this is sort of important. Maybe I'll turn the screen a little bit. Sorry for shaky camera. So I brought this thing out of storage to make that last video, which I dropped 2.5 weeks ago. So if you say, hey, Dave, we're in the same clothes you did 2.5 weeks ago, talking with his good friend visiting, that's because it's 5 seconds later. But I'm going to drop this one when in my regular schedule. So I brought this out of the bins out there to do the comparison between that guy and this guy. And I know I'm going to put them back away. Now, these are the lessons I've learned for storing sets when you don't have a lot of room. So you break them down as much as possible. So first off, this guy, you know, it's just, this comes off and this comes off. And that's good enough. And it goes into the bag. None of these pieces are going to break. The letters are pretty safe where they are because it's got support behind them. So they're not going to catch on anything and bend and break off. This came off. This is pretty easy. And then this comes off pretty easy. The cold piece there comes off. So that goes in the bag. Now, minifigs, whatever, they can just put in there. Now, when you look at this, you say, oh, this can stay together. Well, it really can't. Because there are a few pressure points on this thing that will break if something hits them or compresses them in storage. What I did for myself is I took off the bottom wheels. These bottom wheels, so now we're even less. But now you can see it clear as day. Those ladders, and I've gotten used lots where those ladders are broken, and I know that this is the set that did it because the set was in there. You have to take these ladders off. Now, the ladders themselves are sandwiched between this 2x6, I think, and this 2x4, 2x3 in the bottom. And so you have to be able to take that ladder out. Because what will happen is that, and you can see it, if there's any pressure, like right there, that ladder is going to break. It's going to break. Now it's not going to break because it's not in there. It's the leverage of the things on it. Now again, I don't want to take apart the whole thing. So there we go. This guy's out. So that's all I did is I took the ladders off. And you can just put the ladders in the bag because overall ladder by itself, unless you're stepping on it, it's not going to break. Hopefully. You could put those, I made little boxes for antennas when I store antennas inside these Ziplocs, so the antennas won't get warped. But that's not all. You take the antennas off, these antennas, not the old 8-spoke antennas, broken nail. The last thing you take off is these guys right here, because yes, they will break. They're the old ones, the old set ones, they will break. So I just pop them off. And now they're not going to break because they're not being stuck somewhere before some pressure gets put on. And then that goes in the bag. So all of a sudden, you have the 6950 in a bag, broken down, a lot of air volume, not too much air volume. What I also did, I remember this, is that I took these wheels off of here so they're not just big and bulky. Just took the 1x2 off of this bottom plate, right? So, get all the air out. And this is a lot smaller than the 6950 when it's together. And pieces are not going to get broken on it. They're not. So I'm going to put this back in the bin, put it in storage, blah, blah, blah. And that's what I usually do for all my sets now when I'm putting them in storage. So nothing gets bent and twisted and broken and whatever. Because that is, for me, the most annoying thing I have is when I take a set out of whatever and there's pieces broken because they didn't have a chance because they were stuck into something and something else came along and broke it. And this is especially for the 6890 spaceship with the antennas coming through the 1x1 with the vertical stud on the side. That's going to break when you put it in the storage. It's 100% guaranteed it's going to break. Especially if it's leaning up against anything else. The antenna is going to rip that piece right off. And even the 6980, when the antenna is going through two of those, because Lego thought, let's put two of them there because it'll make it stronger. Both of those are going to break, or the antenna is going to be bent. Either way, take them off. And you don't have to take the pieces off the antenna itself. I just take the entire antenna 1x1 with this vertical thing that the antenna is pushed through, and the 1x4 plate off. Those wings, and I just put them in the bag so I can reconstitute those later, and they're not broken. That's what I do. overall, it's worked out pretty well. And again, I don't stuff these things into the tote. They're loose. I don't play Tetris with it. I don't try to pack everything and stuff them in, because I don't want pieces to be pressed onto other pieces so they work, because they're going to be there for a while. Straight up, they're going to be there for a while. This thing came out, I reconstituted this thing a few months, or probably a year ago, but the bin's right out there because I haven't filled it up yet to put it in the garage. I pulled this one out, and there's nothing wrong with it. And I was putting it, when I was putting it back together, I said, this is why I do it this way. And again, because I don't have a lot of display area, I don't, unfortunately, have a lot of display area, that this is the easiest way for me to store my classic space sets. And it's worked thus far. I got a whole bunch of totes in the garage of classic space. Again, classic space in this instance, 1978 to 1999, but I have a whole bunch of them in the garage. The majority is from 1978 to 1985, I would say. One thing, not to talk about this again, but Paul was here for this video 2.5 weeks ago for me yesterday. It's my life. He said, and it was a fantastic point, that at some point I should get all my totes out, like all of them, and then start organizing. Because again, you go into one tote, you'll find M-Tron, you'll find RoboForce, you'll find Classic Space. They're all, as I build them, I throw them into an empty tote. What I should do is I should organize by theme and by age. So when I grab the M-Tron bin, it's just M-Tron. And I'm pretty confident that I would have one full bin of M-Tron. I might not have one full bin of Blacktron 1, although there will be 2 Masters Intercept bases in there. So maybe I will have. The other thing I do not put in the totes at all are the base plates. So Beta 1, 6971, the Message Intercept base, all the Futuron bases, including the monorail. I have all my 32 by 32s and 60 by 32s over there. So when I do a show, I'm going to bring them all. I'm going to have to bring all of those anyway. So I didn't want to store them in, because those things will warp if something's resting on it awkwardly. They're going to warp, and I don't want them to warp, because there's a freeze-thaw cycle in the garage, because it's not heated, and the heat and cold, and I don't want anything happening to my base plates. It's as simple as that. So all my base plates are right there, and that's perfectly acceptable, because if I ever do this show that I keep on talking about for all these years, it's going to be, I'm going to bring in all those base plates, which is also why now I have to get RetroBrite done. So that's one more thing I have to do this summer, is there's a whole bunch of base plates there that are darker, yellowed, and I have to do RetroBrite on them. And I've been meaning to do it for such a long time, and I just haven't got around to it. But anyway, that's it. That's all. I am done. This thing's going to go back into the tote. I'm going to keep this box. I'm going to put it right in here with my other boxes, but those other boxes are full. I'm going to keep that box that has some very huge. And so when I say I don't keep boxes, I keep boxes that are sentimental to me. Like, I didn't keep the boxes for this guy because I just wanted him. I just wanted a set. And I went and got that from a gift with purchase on Facebook Marketplaces. But a very good and dear friend brought me that box and the set, so I'm going to keep that box. It's just like I keep, not to keep on telling you about this, I keep this box. I don't get rid of some boxes. Sometimes. Every once in a while, I kept this box. Even though right now, I don't know why I kept this box. This box is so beat up. And I got this thing years ago, and I used a lot. I do like the original bricks that are in here. And I think it's fully complete. Set number 205. I think there's 205 bricks in here. I should actually count them again to verify it. And then if they're not, I'll find the period right pieces and put them in there. Let's see if it's got the old logo. It's got the standard logo. But again, the injection mold. Let's see, this is like, there we go. But the injection mold's on top. It's got some plates in here too. I love how things are different depending on the piece you grab. That's the old like logo on the these bricks. What else we got? This is the odd thing about this set, because these are the sets Samsonite didn't put a lot of effort into it. The picture shows light gray tires. I know this wheel set came in this set. I know it. But it has black tires, but they're not the newer black tires. They're flat. So they check the black and the gray injection mold, and you can feel, I'll show you this because this is kind of neat because most people will get this. So they're hollow. You can squeeze them. It's a hollow tire. that some people didn't know that. The grays were solid-ish, and the new blacks were solid-ish. But these ones that were at the beginning, and this thing's not even on properly. Let's just dump this out while we're still talking, but just to make this video longer. So, something else? No, there's nothing else in there. Oh, I'm missing the base plate. I must have taken a base plate out somewhere else. This is so old school. Old school window. Oh, there's a bunch of in there. This is stupid old. Let's see if we can zoom in on that. It's got the old fashioned logo on it. Yeah, and what I really like is the 2x4, and then you can see that it has is it Pat's Pending or something else? I think it says Pat's Pending on the inside. The Pat's Pending brick. But these are all CA bricks, carbon acetate, whatever you want to call it. Not waffle plates, but just the day after they discontinue. Well, not the day after, you know what I'm saying? I'm being hyperbolic. But it's got the same kind of yellowing that the waffle plates did. It's got the better logo on it, but it's not waffle plate. So it's that era. I would say late 60s, pretty late 60s. And I just keep it. I just keep it separate. Anyway, I think I'm gonna wrap this up. I didn't expect to go down that path, but I did. So, store your sets safely if you need to store your sets. I do definitely need to store mine, a lot of them. And we'll go from there. You guys all stay safe, take care, and I will talk to you soon.